guys who combined to play 15 seasons in the National Football League trenches. Well, 2 guys. And Mackey, who didn't do shit. This is the O-Line Committee.
Jeremiah distancing himself from Alex in the guest booking leaderboard right now.
Absolutely.
Oh, Booney. Got to play some catch-up. Because our guest on this Hot Take Tuesday originally hails from Austin, Texas.
There you go.
He played 10 years in the National Football League, Chiefs, Bills, Jaguars. He's a Cotton Bowl champion. He's a Citrus Bowl champion. He's an AFC West champion, an AFC East champion. He's a Pro Bowler, and he currently hosts the Monday Mornings with Mitch podcast, YouTube, Apple, Spotify. Mitch Morse making his debut on the O-Line Committee.
Yeah, boys, that was fucking great, dude. Thanks, man.
Welcome to the crew, bud. We appreciate
so glad
your
to
time.
fucking have you here, dude. You kidding me?
Boys, I appreciate it. I've been watching you do your thing. We were talking about it. You guys have been doing this for 3 years. Super great. It's really fun. I'm not just blowing smoke. Truly, like the film breakdown's hilarious, especially from dudes and Mackey, like guys who've done it. And then there's Mac, who's just seems like a slam dunk of a dude. No. You call a catalyst.
Yes.
For a conversation. And you guys have been doing great. So it's such a privilege to be on.
Thanks, Mitch.
Well, let me ask you this. How has transition out of the NFL been for you? I mean, it's kind of a journey for everyone that eventually hangs the cleats up, especially for someone that did it for so long. But how is that transition into the next phase of life going?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think like every day it's a different answer, but most every day is a party. I could not imagine going back out there and there's not enough Toradol, Tylenol, Advil in the world to get me back out there to do it. And it was one of those things, like the defensive lineman kept getting bigger, faster, stronger. I feel like when I first got in the league, there was just a guy in every division, and now there's a guy on every team. And sleepless nights compound before games, and it was one of those things that it's been such a privilege being done, kind of exploring this space that you guys are on. And it's just it's a privilege. Of course, you miss the camaraderie like every other Joe Schmo who retires, right? But that doesn't make up for the fact that just physically I couldn't do it. And I'm glad to be done.
Yeah. By the way, Chiefs Bills. I think that's this weekend, right?
Dude,
we haven't house divided, Mitch. House divided, or how are we feeling?
Where we at,
No,
Mitch?
that's a good question. I think the novelty's over, right? Like it was definitely interesting when I first went to the Bills playing those guys the first time in 2020. But I think I played them with the Bills probably 7 times. And the turnover has been crazy in Kansas City. There's only 5 guys left in that team. They're good buddies, but. No, I just kind of right now you watch it objectively. Of course, you have some skin in the game with just your friends, but yeah, it'll be fun. I'll be able to sit there like a Gentile, like a layman, and watch the game pragmatically. It's sick. I'm super excited.
All right. So you played for both the teams. You played for Sean McDermott. You played for Andy Reid. Who do you like more and why? I gotta know. No, because I think I know the answer to this one right away.
Well, if you know me, you're not going to get the screen grab content. Both guys. What's interesting is Sean is 9 years in, which is a pretty good feat in the Bills. But I feel like compared to Andy, he's still at the infancy of his head coaching career. It'll be interesting to see if they walk a parallel path in 15, 20 years. Sean has. You can't refute the fact that Coach Reid has been doing it at such a high level for such a long time. I really appreciated Sean, just his ability to every day. He was surgical with, of course, the team, but also like how he could be better. And just to see those 5 years, his growth, completely different coach, completely different dude. He's so obsessed with trying to put his best foot forward so this team can put it forward. A lot more similarities than differences. I was a young guy with Coach Reid, and it was definitely my first interaction with Coach Reid was during OTAs. Was a thing called long drive drill. I'm sure you've heard Coach Reid does it. It's 1s versus 1s for 18 plays, 2s versus 2s for 12, 3s versus 3. By play 13 or 14 years leaning on dudes, right? But during OTAs, you'd have this there's 1 week every OTAs where you have a 4-day block of practice. And that was the day we would do long drive drills. And I was a rookie, and it was the first day I was with the ones. I was at right guard, and I was just getting my fucking ass kicked over and over and over again. Like Dontari Poe hit me with the cleanest I barely threw my hands, and he was past me. And Coach Reed, the first real conversation we had was he didn't even call me my name. He goes, 61, quit blowing your chance. and dude, I had like 12 plays left. So, of course, I thought about it the whole time. But just exceptional dude. Like my relationship with Coach Reed has changed after playing. Like we're very close now. But and also I think winning a few Super Bowls helps lighten you up a bit. But I was there during OTAs for a day during veteran minicamp, and it was intense, dude. It has not changed one bit. It's palpable when you walk in that building. It's not so much a screaming at you kind of thing like the Patriots might have, but there is a sense of like, this is how we do it.
Yeah.
This is the intensity we go about it. And he wants you to let your personality show, but there's definitely a standard in how you do your work, and it shows on game day. Like it's crazy.
Well, you've had a great, like, unique perspective of playing with two of the great quarterbacks in the NFL, and both being with them when they were young.
Sure.
Right, like
and being their center.
And being their center, right, and
having their hands pressed up against your
and
ass.
so I'm going to ask
Yeah.
you the question that
Sure.
I had to answer. As a center, do you like a firm touch or a hard, like a good hard touch?
I want you to lift me off the ground with how firm of a touch.
Thank you.
I need to know you're there, and yeah, just and also like, so what's crazy was I had Alex was my Booney.
Alex Smith.
Alex
That's
Smith
right.
was my first QB, right? So what he would do to shift players was he would he'd lift his leg up, but in silent count under center he would tap you, and what usually quarterbacks give the fist a tap. He would spank me so hard I would have hand imprints on my butt cheeks. After my right ass cheek would be swollen because Alex Smith would it's fun.
Shit out.
He would really give me the business. But that being said, every quarterback's got his different cadence. Every quarterback's got his different the way he does things. But the firmer, the better. And I feel like it is kind of the standard now. And centers are very good at correcting young quarterbacks. And I never had to do it because I was a young guy myself with both those guys. But when you have a young guy, if you're working with the twos, or the 2 or 3 Q comes in, you're like, hey man, I snap it a little bit of left, and I want you to lift me off the ground. That's what I want. So it's good.
They get it. They don't look at you like you're weird. But my question becomes this with Patrick Mahomes, because you played with him when he was a rookie, correct?
So he technically when he was a rookie, he sat out
second
every
year,
and then,
second year,
yes, his rookie his rookie season starting. Yeah.
Back then, could you have ever predicted that his career would have taken this path?
Some people, I've said this before, they're like, hey, we saw him during practice and it was just amazing. I'm like, no, dude, no one saw this coming. He was, I've never seen someone's life change from week 1 to week 16. It was 16 games back then, or week 17, 16 games. No, I knew the one thing you did know is that he had the it factor in regards to his competitive nature. And when you hear competitive nature, you automatically think like rah-rah stuff. Yeah. But for me, competitive nature with a quarterback is when you walk into a huddle and the game's on the line, you got to go down there, and it's their demeanor. Like no matter what comes out of their mouth, you know that they're going to execute it. They come in, they're going to put it on their backs. Like he always had that. And just him developing as like what he sees and his vision and all that stuff has been remarkable. And no, hell no. No one saw this shit coming, dude.
No one saw $500 million coming down the pipe.
No. But it's been fun. It's been cool. And it's been, he's gotten his dues. He's deserved them. And he's stayed the same great guy, very approachable. You text him, he'll text you back. It's been such a privilege to at least have even a footnote in his career, man. It was cool.
Well, I think some could say that you are the catalyst for Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen to getting paid. You were the one that came in and settled the ship, Mitch, and directed traffic to allow those dudes to go out there and flourish the way they needed to. Just saying.
Jeremiah, you know me enough to know how neurotic I was. I think what they had to do was they had to overcome me being neurotic and stabilize themselves emotionally. And maybe that's all I did. But besides that, I just kind of fucked off, gave them the football, and watched them do their thing. I didn't help them even a little bit. It was fun. It was a cool experience being on those roller coasters.
I feel like it's like a green jacket club or something where because I think if you were to rank the best quarterbacks of all time, Mahomes might be number 1. Brady, you could debate it, but he's in the top 2 or 3. I think if Josh Allen isn't in the 10, a Super Bowl gets him in the 10 in terms of productivity. I wonder how many guys have played 1,000 snaps as a center combined, or like 5 or 6 or 7,000 snaps combined with 2 of the top 10 greatest quarterbacks. I mean, Jeff Saturday probably with Peyton and Rodgers. Didn't he go to Green Bay for a minute?
I think he did. Rodgers? Yes.
Yeah.
But it's like a small club of centers that have had experience with 2 all-time top 10 quarterbacks like you have. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, you sit back there and you look at it from the outside looking in. It was just pure luck, man. Like if that second contract, you got to go chase the cheese. And if you had told me, I knew Josh had it. Right, I knew he had this potential. You see that 2018 season. I mean, everyone saw him hurdle that dude in Minnesota and do that whole deal. And then you go in there, you got to take care of what you got to take care of. And the Bills offered it, and it was such a beautiful experience to have that, and also be on a good team, and to see that maturation of not only a quarterback but also an organization. Right, it was cool. It's been a real fun experience, and I don't take it for granted.
When you talk about both cities, who had the better fan base? Because you talk about Arrowhead last night. No, I got to know. Listen, I got to know from someone that. Because listen.
Mitch is not going to pick a side.
I went into both those places as the enemy, so both of them just gave it to us constantly. But it was like, if I could play for one. Because Arrowhead, did you see the game on Monday night when they set off the red and it's the home of the Chiefs? Yeah. Dude, I got goosebumps again. I was like, holy shit, I'm here.
I want Mitch to say Jaguars out of nowhere right
No,
now.
I want him to say Buffalo because they used to throw beer bottles at our bus. And I was like, I would die to play for kids like this. Like, this is awesome.
That's a good question. Yeah, Jeremiah nailed on the head. I'm not going to give you one or the other. Here's what I will tell you. There are 2 different experiences, right? Going into Arrowhead, I mean, it'll rock your nervous system with the decibel level. There is something to, even on that opposing sideline, you feel the gravity, right? It does feel like the Coliseum of sorts, right? Mm-hmm. The fan base is electric. You can smell the stadium before you see it, right? Like the tailgate culture is tremendous. And then Buffalo itself, the new stadium will be different, but it's such an intimate setting, right? There's no real seats. They're bleacher seats. And you're getting verbally, and it feels like sometimes sexually assaulted as a player from the opposing sideline. It's wild. I mean, I drove in for the first time as opposing player with the Jags, and you're seeing all sorts of dudes holding lightsabers, but instead of lightsabers, they're dildo-sized light. It's such a fun experience. 2 very different experiences, 2 amazing environments to play football in. And even as an opposing player, I feel like if you walk into a building, you're like, oh, this is really unique. Yep. This is something cool. If I can garner energy even as an opposing player, that's how you know that that's a really cool spot to play football.
Agreed.
Now we want you to rank your 10 closest family members in order of how much you love and hate them.
Dude, you got to play in 2 of the greatest places and with 2 of the greatest quarterbacks, with 2 of the greatest coaches. Like, you've had an amazing journey this entire time. And it's great because you got to see both sides of it, right? You got to see Patrick when he was young, and you got to see Josh when he was young. Now, when Patrick was young, you were kind of still young. But when you were older and you had Josh, I'm sure you got to see a lot more. And that's why you were like, dude, we could kind of tell, right? Like, I was older. I had more eyes up. I wasn't so worried about the little things like, hey, 61, don't fuck it up, right? Like, you're like, dude, I can be me now. And when you see that and you see Josh coming in, like, even now when you watch his games, he's so incredible. He takes over the game instantly, right? But how great is it now to have James Cook over there where you can go, hey, man, you don't have to do it all anymore. And not only that, but that offensive line is so fucking dominant, dude. They are so fun to watch. And the number one thing is, like, I love to see when people push Josh late because you're like, someone's coming. Someone's coming to fucking kill him. I know, dude. Hey, did you see the fight after the game? Jesus, it was amazing.
But here's the thing. Deion's been doing that for years.
That's why we love him.
I honestly thought, like, when we played the Jets in 2018, that Deion was going to fight Clemens, like, at the 50-yard line in the middle of the field. Like, in the first quarter. Yeah. Like, I literally thought, we were like, Deion, don't do this. And he's like, oh, if he says something, they're like, don't do this. But that's what you love, Deion. He's the ultimate protector.
Yeah, well, you got a guy, and I think every great quarterback you guys have been around, right? Like, it's not only are you a good football player, but what kind of relationship do you have in the locker room? Like, how are you viewed? And both Josh and Pat, of course, I spent more time on task with Josh, is so relatable, is so available to everyone, even in the facility, right? And Buffalo is such an intimate setting that, no one lives farther than 20 minutes away from each other. Jeremiah can attest to this. Yeah. Like, you have that built in. It's hard to find family atmosphere in the NFL, right? The best teams try to preach it. But it's transactional business, man. You're only going to get so much. But truly, the closest you can get is Buffalo, just not only from that organization, but proximity. And yeah, you got guys who are playing at a super high level. I think that offensive line under Aaron Kromer's tutelage is just everyone's on the same plane. Everyone's had the same vision. Everyone's on the same page. I think clarity in that whole thing, and not, it's interesting because Chrome does a good job of understanding that everyone like biomechanically moves different. My point of power might be different than Boone's point of power or Jeremiah's point of power, right? So getting to a certain position, everyone might do a little bit differently, but everyone's working the same thing, and everyone's got the same vision. You have run meetings, or pretty much the whole damn offense is in there, and you're coaching everyone at the same time. So, now I know exactly what James is seeing. I know what the tight ends are doing. And you think after that, like, why isn't this standard practice? But it's not. Like, you don't see it everywhere. So yeah, those boys are playing their ass off, and it's just fun to see. And it makes Josh not have to be a superhuman every single time. He can do it when he wants to, but you have a guy like James Cook in there who plays his ass. It's so much fun to play with James too. He's a hoot. I mean, of course you see him kind of being stoic, but he's got a personality.
Really?
You see that thing oh dude, yeah. It's
That's
awesome.
funny.
See that thing fired up is hilarious. It's cool as hell, dude. It's fun.
Are you guys ready for some Hot Take Tuesday action here?
Gotta get into Hot Take
There's
Tuesday.
there's a, and I can't tell if the story that's been at least all over like my algorithm is just because I cover the Vikings every day, so I'll do my Homer fine off the bat here.
Love that.
But the Carson Wentz stuff from the last day or two. Just for the audience that maybe isn't immersed in Carson Wentz drama. So he played 2.5 games with dislocated shoulder that tore his labrum and then created like a fracture in his shoulder socket. And they were like in touch with him over the course of a month, and they put like 6 different braces on his left arm. But then Thursday night on Amazon Prime, every time he's on the ground, he's like writhing in pain. It was uncomfortable. But people are going crazy. How could a team shove a guy out on the field like that to be decimated? And my hot take is people are wildly overreacting to the Vikings forcing or allowing Carson Wentz to play through the shoulder injury. Carson wanted to be out there. It might have been his last run as a starting quarterback. And you got an undrafted free agent rookie and ankle injury McCarthy trying to slow cook back. People need to calm down, ripping the Vikings and anyone else for putting Carson Wentz in that position. That's my hot take.
Mitch, you want to take
We'll
this?
let you go first.
You tell me I'm an
You're
idiot.
the guest.
Yeah, no,
You tell me I'm an idiot.
You're the guest.
I'll go first.
Football players play hurt. That's my take.
Yeah, well, so they do play hurt. That doesn't take away from being able to commend a dude for putting himself out there, understanding the situation.
Amen on that.
And then maybe I think there's I don't know if selfish element's the right way, but there's an element to like, yeah, I've been doing this for a bit. This might be my last go around. I don't know. That might be hearsay as well, right? Like you win a locker room over by doing that. You light the locker room on fire. It's the most important position in sport. And you have a guy going out there. Yes, he's banged up, but he understands how paramount it is for him to put his best foot forward. Maybe his best foot forward is him with a messed up shoulder. It's a little bit better than putting the young guy out there and maybe screwing his deal up, right? Like, I think it's just, I did not know about his shoulder until the other day, and I think that is such a commendable thing. And not everyone's able to do it because shoulder pain is different now. Like it'll hit you differently, and for the uninitiated, it's a brutal thing, and especially at that. Even though if it's just off shoulder, like yeah, he's standing in there, he's chucking that thing, he's taking those hits, man. Like kudos to him. I don't. It's not like a thing. I don't think that the team forced him to be out there. It's not like he's a grown ass man. Right. You're not gonna be able to like do this or else. Like fuck it.
Yeah,
I'll do it.
I agree with you, Mitch, because I say this all the time. In order to play in the NFL, you have to be a little bit crazy. Like you have to be a little bit fucked up in the head. And at never any point does someone hold a gun to your head and be like, play or die. Like you make that own decision. People actually have to save you from yourself a lot of time. Right? A lot of time it's your friends, which I had to do to Boone when he had a concussion and he's crying on the sideline. He's like, I could go in. We're like, give me your helmet.
We've all been there.
100%. Like we have to save from ourselves. And so it's not the team's job. It's not the team's job to come to you and be like, hey, you're our starting quarterback. You shouldn't play. But there is
You
an
wanna get
element.
paid.
There is an element to in game, I think, and I think back to the Thursday night game. I think there is an element to communication between player, trainer, and coach, where you have to be able to look at that and go, "This just isn't the right situation to put Carson Wentz back in." Right?
when it's like a 17-point game,
when
in
it's
the
a
second half,
17-point game, and this
Okay.
dude is like, I mean, I've had both shoulders fixed, both labrums, right? And I could tell watching him go, dude, that dude's shoulder is subluxing and slamming back into socket every time he's grabbing his arm. And that is an extremely painful feeling for anyone that hasn't had it. At one point in time, you have to look and go, man, I am just harming this guy. Like, and have that hard conversation on the sideline, but the player's never going to be the one to say, take me out.
No.
Like, the true battlers and the true fighters, which Carson Wentz has been his whole career. I mean, he's always been since getting the ACL. He wasn't going to be the one to pull out. It had to have been a trainer. It had to have been Kevin O'Connell to be able to look at Carson and go, hey, we're shutting you down. And like, again, I don't think it's a huge deal, but it is something that might go to stemmer and bigger issues as you look into the Vikings as a whole with the way that Darrisaw is being handled, Van Ginkel's being handled. Like, I think it's more of a communication problem than anything, but you do commend Carson Wentz for what he's doing because no one's going to take themselves out when they have that opportunity to be the guy.
Totally
Well
agree
said.
with everything that you guys said, especially with the whole you win the locker room by going out and doing that, right? Because everybody knows you're all banged up and everyone's like, yo, this dude's a badass, right? And at times you're watching it on tape and you're like, dude, what is this? Like, what's going on? If I'm getting on anyone, I'm getting more on KOC, right? Like, here you knew this guy had a broken shoulder and you're still throwing deep routes. We're still throwing the ball 50 times a game. We're still getting him sacked 8 times a game. It's like, hey, if you knew his arm was broken with his shoulder, why didn't we hand it off more? Why didn't we have quicker routes? Why didn't we do more max protect? Like, things. What the problem is, people are mad because of what we saw Thursday, and we at one point we were all like, "This guy's gonna die." Like, there's issues that we don't know about going on because he is in a lot of pain. If he dies, he dies, and that's where all of a sudden we see the rookie coming in, and we're like, "Okay, they took care of it." Well, come to find out, his shoulder was broken, and that's when it's like, "Okay, I agree with everything you guys said." We talked about this last week. A player can never say no. If anything, his agent can come in and go, hey, he's not playing. Now, I'm almost positive Carson's agent knew his shoulder was broken. He was probably just like, Carson, what are you doing? And he was like, I'm fucking riding, baby. I'm here to do this. This is my last ride. I don't give a shit. The pills will be worth it. We can roll. We need to fucking win, right? Like, I need another ring. And the only way to do that is to go out here and do this. Same time, I'm kind of a little bit on Herbie now because it looks like shit what he said. Remember what he was like, oh, you got to suck it up. And it's like,
I think he was mad about the emotion, right? He was like,
he had a broken
emotion.
fucking shoulder. What did you want him to do? Dude, I dislocated my shoulder and had it put in on like the next play, and I was fucking crying in Philly. Like, I want to die.
So bad.
I couldn't imagine people running into it and just destroying me. And then O-lineman not fucking helping me up. I'd be pissed too. I'd be like, you guys are all, I hope you all die. Okay.
Jesus. He looks over to the sidelines, Kevin O'Connell, like walking Phoenix, just
save
giving the thumbs
me.
down. Yes.
He keeps
End
looking
him.
at him like,
End him.
please, get me.
What's the most pain you ever played through, Mitch?
Ooh. You know what's interesting, kind of going back on that Carson Wentz deal, is it's easy when you're in pain and stuff's not going right for your anxiety to take over and be like, fuck it, get me out. Every player's had that battle. Even if you don't succumb to it, you've had that battle, right? I think my elbows were the things that got cooked the most. I think tearing my UCL was kind of a bummer, but I had a Liz Frank injury and tried to go through that. And it's just trying to anchor a bull rush when your foot doesn't have the support it needs. But nothing like too crazy to play through. Truly, like to Boone's point, there's pills for everything, and it sounds a lot worse than it actually is, right? Like just the big dumb football player numbing himself up, expediting his mortality. But it's how it goes.
It's the nature of the beast.
It's what happens, especially when the people look at you. Like at one point, I had Sam Bradford looking at me when I was in Minnesota, and he's like, "You really not going to come out here with us?" And I was like, "No, I'll be there." Looking back, I wish I would have been like, "Yeah, no, I'm not going to be there." But it's hard, right, Mitch? You know it. Everyone's looking at you, and they're like, "Dude, we're going to go out here and fuck around. You coming with us?" And you're like, "I'm really beat up, guys." And like, so are we, dickhead. What the fuck makes you any better, right? You're like, shit.
That's a tough thing is when you get guys because on the O line, like so Brandon Sheriff last year, I had him. He was a warrior, just a war
He's
daddy.
a badass.
He's just a old school badass, right? So he tears something in his shoulder and his bicep the first game of the season. And they tell him, if you want, you can have surgery. You probably should. You're going to have to. And he's like, no, I'll be fine. So he was the right guard, and our silent cadence was, you give the hand. And so there was multiple games where his arm would just go numb. He'd be like, you got to go now, go. and then he tears his MCL grade 2 versus Green Bay. The first and second opinion tell him to take a month off, and he takes 2 days off. And he's playing against Philadelphia, and he's in so much pain. Tears are in his eyes, and you're dinged up. What are you going to say to him? What am I? All right, buddy. Yeah, you're literally being held together by just grit and tape. My finger kind of hurts on my snap hand. I think I'm going to take but no, dude. There's something to that, and that's hard to come by. I mean, it's hard to be born with that. You kind of have to go through that, and it's easier as later in your career when you kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel. As a young player, it's tougher.
Yeah. I think that's a great point. I talked about, in 2016, I'd finally broken in with my chance to start with the Vikings, and second game starting, I tear my meniscus. And they go in at the MRI, and the thing was like, hey, your meniscus is torn. It's not going to get any better unless we have surgery. You can keep playing, and we'll fix it at the end of the year, or we can get it shut down. And as a year 3 undrafted guy getting my first opportunity to start, it wasn't even a question in my mind. I'm like, oh, fix it after the season. Like, who cares? We'll roll. And I finished up the rest of the year. And then I remember getting surgery afterwards. And Dr. Larson was like, dude, looks like someone put a hand grenade in your knee and just lit it off. And my knee never was the same after that year. But again, it goes back to, it's just nature of the business being in the NFL. It's a tough man sport. It's not a track mentality sport, which I think is trying to creep its way into the NFL, where it's like, if I don't feel 100%, I'm not going out there. It's a brutal game that you make the decision as a player, I can play or not. And eventually it comes down to, am I hurting the team or not?
Exactly.
Right? It's me.
Exactly.
That is the ultimate decision to pull yourself out of the game or not. Is not, oh, poor me. It's, man, am I doing a detriment to the other 11 guys around me right now by being selfish and staying in here just to be a tough guy? That's the bigger question when you got to say, I got to get myself out for the betterment of the 53.
Without a doubt. I think that's well said. And I think that's what you're talking about, the track mentality. Yeah, you don't want to put your worst foot forward, but also, I mean, we're all prideful dudes. Me with a fucked up elbow, I'm not as good as the other guy. Put him in. I'll come back when I'm ready. Right. I don't want to get – the last thing I want to do is go out there for pride and get my franchise quarterback smoked.
But to be fair, there's another side of that where it says, hey, you with a bad knee is better than our backup completely healthy. And that's where it's like, we need a tough guy. And Pat Shermer talked about this in Minnesota. Do you remember this, Jay, when he was talking about the game within the game? And he was saying the game within the game is the guys that can go out here that are beat up, that are tired, that don't give a shit, that can continue to play, right? We talk about it all the time on this show, depth. Depth of a team will help you win because eventually you're going to lose these guys. No one's going to play 17 games, right? Some guys are not going to do that. It's the teams that can get their guys to fight to play 17 games that will win and will outlast everybody, because that's the grit that we're talking about. Mitch, you said it best. Nobody wants to put out bad film, but there's a difference between bad film and people knowing this dude's fucked up and he's fighting his ass off, right? Like Brandon Sheriff, you said it right there. How many times I remember listening to people go, dude, you know his back's fucked up too? And I'd be like, no shit. They'd be like, dude, you watch his film lately? I'd be like, yeah, man. But but that's what, like, I tell my oldest son, this was the most fun going in to see everybody all messed up the next day, right? Because you were like, who could act the toughest? Who could act the toughest and be like, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt, right? And it's like, you're doing this your entire life that eventually people ask me all the time, like, how you feel? I'm like, great. Because you were just conditioned to say, eventually it drives people nuts. They're like, you're not great. I know you're not great. You're like, no, I am. I'm great. They told me to say great or I will die. Like, it's just what it is. And now you see these kids and they're like, my finger. I don't know if it'll bend. You're like, who fucking cares? I know people that only have 4 on their hand. You don't even need it. But it's become this, I don't want to put out bad film, and it drives me nuts.
You don't want your PFF grade to go down.
You don't want Chris Collinsworth to call my agent and start talking shit. That guy could choke on a bag of whoop.
Hey, before we get to another hot take here and a couple shout outs, go subscribe to Mitch's YouTube channel right now. If you're on the internet right now, open up your internet wherever you are, and it's youtube.com/@mmwithmitch, youtube.com/@mmwithmitch, and tell us about it, dude. So you launched this thing, I don't know, like a month and a half ago. You've had so Jamie Erdahl was on from Good Morning Football.
Yep.
Her and I worked together at ESPN Twin Cities like 15 years ago. It's
Unbelievable.
awesome to see her success. You've had some other fun. So tell us about your new podcast and your YouTube channel.
Yeah, well, first of all, I appreciate you guys hyping it up. It's awesome. It takes a village, right? I think for me, I just love chatting with folks. But also, I had the fortune of being given 2 slots on Good Morning Football, and it was a total charity case. They really took a shot, and I appreciated it. But it really, I thought it was going to scratch an itch, and I was going to go walk off into the sunset. I remember texting my wife, being like, "We have a real problem," because this really fueled my fire. I enjoyed the hell out of it. It's the vanity of it all. It's the ego, all that stuff that you don't think you have until you're out of football, right?
Refreshing your subscribers every hour. Yeah, that's right. Tell me how great.
It's been such a privilege. It's been an amazing thing. It's not as intuitive as I thought it was going to be, interviewing folks. And you can, once you're in it and you get interviewed, you can see folks who have done it, who are doing it really well. I just really enjoy the hell out of it. I don't know where it's going to go. I'm sure at one point I'm going to be like, I'm sick of this kind of, because you got to whore yourself out quite a bit, right? Yeah. It's a lot of asking favors without being able to give any in return. And that stuff kind of, and also, just to be honest, like when you text folks or you call them, you're used to them picking up on the first ring, and now they're expecting you just to keep asking for stuff, and that hurts. But also, you put yourself out there, you kind of reap what you sow, and so far, I'm really enjoying the hell out of it, and looking forward to seeing where it takes us. It could take us nowhere, and I'll at least when I'm old and gray, I can sit down and be like, you know what, I gave it a shot, it didn't work out, cool. Let me just fuck off for the rest of my life.
Where is home for you now, Mitch? Are you back in KC?
We like every old retired Caucasian man, I'm in Florida. I got a touch of Florida, and I love it. It's really cool. I get to take my daughter to school in a golf cart and all this fun stuff. So Florida's our home base now. Kansas City will always be home. We put all of our real valuable stuff in storage there, just because if we ever do move, it'll be back to KC.
Love it, man. Yeah, it's youtube.com/@MM with Mitch. Click that subscribe button over there. I want to shout out a couple of our partners real quick here before we do one more Hot Take Tuesday item. MyBookie is over here. That's right. If you guys want to jump in, you're welcome to. MyBookie.
You're just shouting out a bookie like a random. Sorry,
it's my bookie named Bob.
That's so funny.
That's right. MyBookie. So 14 teams have already hung 40 or more on the board this year. So there's a lot of overs that are doing well in the league this year. And this is the rare time where you got all 4 of the major men's sports leagues rocking at the same time with the World Series. So if you're new, go to mybookie.ag, use the code OLINE, and get a special offer for only for O-line committee listeners. That's mybookie.ag, code OLINE, and get a special offer for O-line committee listeners. No better time to jump in. And no, I'm not talking about my bookie named Greg. It's mybookie.ag. Also, the O-line committee is pumped to be partnered with Menards and FVP Auto Parts this football season. Save big money. Menards in 15 different states, including Nebraska country, Jeremiah country, Minnesota, where Boone and I are, and a lot of upper Midwest states where it's going to be cold soon. And FVP antifreeze is going to be your friend. In the wintertime, FVP antifreeze protects up to 50 degrees Fahrenheit below zero. If that happens, God help us all. But your stuff will be protected. Your swimming pools, your boats, your rec vehicles, campers, even your vacation homes, minus 50 Fahrenheit protection with FVP antifreeze. So head to Menards and stock up on said product.
Nice job, Mac.
Very well done. Great job, Mac.
Right.
At least you didn't have to listen to the boner pills one today, Mitch.
Oh, man.
I didn't know that I was missing out. I didn't know I missed out. That's sick. That's cool.
We'll give you the promo code
next
later.
time. Next time you'll do the promo for us.
Mackie stole all the free samples.
Yeah, can you believe that? He didn't even share with us.
They gave you free samples?
Yes.
Oh, that's, yeah.
We'll talk offline, Mitch. It'll be great. Okay, one more Hot Take Tuesday item, and it's kind of random, and I just feel like this dude deserves some love, so we're going to spread some positivity, unless you guys want to call me an idiot for this. My next hot take is Todd Bowles is the most untalked about, underrated head coach in the NFL. No, like we all, we sit here and we glaze over all the usual names, and we did it for like a half hour with Mitch's former coaches and Andy Reid and Sean McDermott. Todd Bowles after going through, what everyone does with the Jets, which is
purgatory.
They chew you up, they spit you out. He's 33-26 with Tampa, about to be 4 straight playoff appearances, a defensive guy who's helped also to revive Baker Mayfield's football career, and top 5 rushing defenses each of the last 3 years. And nobody talks about this dude as a top high-end NFL head coach. Dude. So that's my hottest take. Todd Bowles, the most underrated coach in the NFL.
I'm not going to call you an idiot at all. And I think if anything, he is in the most perfect situation because he's a defensive genius, right? He's got Vita Vea and he's got Levante David playing for 30 years. Like, he's got some of the greatest defenders, right? But then when they finally pair themselves with a great quarterback, they go, I've done it. I don't have to worry about shit. Right? Like, all of a sudden Baker can be the guy we need him to be. I don't have to be over there in his shit all the time like we saw at times with other head coaches, right, where they get on the offense and they're like, just run the ball, right? And it's like, on this side, if you go to Baker and you tell him to just run the ball, he might kill you. So you're like, dude, you have paired the most greatest quarterback to talk the most shit with one of the chillest head coaches who barely talks at all but runs the most fierce defense. I am fucking here for it, and they better watch out in the South.
The Bucs are so much fun.
Oh
nothing about the Bucs deters me from turning on the television. Todd Bowles has turned the Buccaneers. They were must-watch television before, but Todd is, first of all, an exceptional person. My agent represents Todd, and he's just a really cool dude, super chill to talk to, and you can tell he's married football being fun to productivity. And it's a very hard, fine line to walk, and he walks it perfectly. He's got great dudes like Boone was talking about. You got Baker out there, just totally revived his career. No one has a bad thing to say about the Buccaneers. I don't think it's a hot take at all. I think it's a slam dunk take, dude. The Bucs are the best, dude. I dig them really hard.
I mean, I also love that he's invested a ton into his offensive line. Right.
Totally.
I mean, this is an O-line show, right? You go get Tristan Wirfs. You have Graham Barton, who you draft out of Duke, who is going to be, hey, you're left tackle, go play center. Right? Similar to your path, Mitch. I was say similar to your path, Mitch.
That was sick.
Right? Hey, left tackle, go play center. And then you go,
center, go kick out the left tackle.
Yeah, but middle of the game, dude, middle of the game to go out there and play left tackle.
So cool.
I was like, you might as well just start printing your money now, Graham, because that's going to get you paid a lot. And then you go get like some Ben Bredesen's. You draft Cody Mock in the second round. You have Luke Gadecki. I mean, you just can tell, and we talked about this on the show yesterday, Mitch, the teams that are heavily investing in the offensive line position are having a lot of success. Totally. Because you look at like what the Colts were able to do when they lose Ryan Kelly and Will Fries and they develop and they get guys in there. You look at what Dallas and how when they were super successful develop, and you look at like the great teams, they develop these O-lines. I think Todd Bowles is an old school coach that still believes you win football games in the National Football League on the offense and the defensive lines. And he invests heavily into those. And that's why you've been able to see Mike Evans has missed multiple games, still been extremely successful. Bucky Urban goes out. Hey, we'll just hand it to White, still be super successful. When you can rely on your offense and defensive lines, which is how Todd Bowles has built that team, you're always going to find ways to be close games at the end and then let Baker go do Baker things.
Right.
God, it's going to be Championship Sunday, and we're going to have Baker Mayfield against Sam Darnold, and then Daniel Jones against, I don't know, either Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes, right? It's going to be like 3 dudes who were written off as career-cooked busts,
and
right?
$500 million contract.
And then, one dude.
That's about how we average it all out, right? That's how the league works.
I'd love to see the Bucs do it, man. I really would. To make it there, they got to get healthy. That's tough. Yeah. But they had a great team.
Super Can fun. Mike Evans in like 8 games still get to 1,000 yards
I
for
think
the
that one's
20th
done.
straight season?
Hey, have faith, dude. Have faith, okay?
Yeah, that's that was.
You got a Begbu over there too. Making fun of Gronk. I love it. Amaka Begbu.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks,
that dude's electric too, man.
Yeah, I mean, he's incredible. I mean, that whole offense is so fun to watch when it's operating on all. And they've been, I don't know if they've had their full package of complement of players since week 1.
I don't think
like Godwin was out, Evans out, now Evans is out, and then you get back and forth. As soon as they can get healthy, I hope they can get healthy heading into December because they will be a force to reckon with and a hard out in the playoffs, and they're going to win that division.
They keep losing coaches. Kevin Carberry is going to get picked up here. In this offseason, and Liam Cohen, like all these guys, and they just still find a way to do it. I think that's really cool.
Yep.
Good take, Mac.
Yeah.
Good take.
All right. Approval. These aren't always just hot takes. Sometimes they're spoilers, as you guys know.
Self-suck.
That's such a self-suck.
Self-suck. That's great. Self-suck for sure. That's good.
Oh man, Mitch. Any final words of football or life wisdom here for the O-line committee audience before we say goodbye?
I think it's just a fun time to watch football. I find myself every Sunday, the parity of the league is something that's talked about. And maybe it's like this every year, but as a casual fan now, it's the number one sport on God's green earth, football, and there's a reason for it. It's just so much fun to watch, and of course, as an offensive lineman, it's tough to watch stuff going on outside of the box. But dude, let's go football. It's the shit. And NFL Red Zone is the real deal. It's the first time I ever get to watch it. It's the real deal.
It's amazing, dude.
Crack
it's funny
cocaine,
how
man.
sacred it is.
Unbelievable.
7 hours, and the NFL's like, hey, we're gonna put like 3 commercials in, and people are like, what?
I
No,
will
you
kill
can't
you.
touch my sacred experience.
It's
like,
so
whoa.
good, dude.
It's
I
amazing.
fucking love it. It's the best.
Yeah, you're gonna get to the point like I am now. Like, right, Agent Sirles, I got 4 TVs up, so I was like, okay, I watch everyone's game, and then Red Zone's on the main one. You just flip. Like Sundays, my kids, it's like, hey, you want to play the Switch? Hey, you want to play the Switch?
Just
Yeah.
stay over
Play the
there.
Switch and then go outside when it dies.
Yeah, here comes the iPad out on Sundays. Dude.
Daddy's busy. Daddy's working.
busy.
It's the best. It's the best.
Amazing.
Boys. And also another thing is, thank you so much for having me on.
Oh,
Truly,
oh,
you guys
dude,
do such a
we'll
good
have you
job.
back for
It's just
sure.
a hoot. Please,
Absolutely.
We will
Yeah.
absolutely have you back.
please do.
Anytime,
That's great.
and if you have your own hot takes ever on a Tuesday and you're bored, I mean, just come join us and unleash a couple.
Football. Yeah, heck yeah, boys. Fuck yeah. Party on,
So
dude. Hell yes.
youtube.com/@MM with Mitch, Monday mornings with Mitch Morse on the O-line committee. Thank you, dude.
Thank you, boys.
Thanks,
I appreciate it. It means a ton, boys.
All right.
Thank you.
For the Rhino, for Jay, I'm Phil. We'll see you next time. Click that subscribe button, the like button, and we'll see you for some picks on Thursday.